I see it all the time when we go to tournaments. This kid's ranked number, say, 200 some or 100 some, and here's number 80. Is she's doing what she needs to do to hold that status of being number 80 or number five, top five in the country. Those kids, they work. When people think they don't, they come to work. And I think parents need to get those players in the gym more and work on not just basketball but conditioning.
Welcome back to Recruiting from the Bleachers. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and today we have the honor of having a tremendous coach in our midst, a long coaching experience, a lot of wisdom, and we're looking forward to speaking with Coach Fred Applin today. He has over 30 years of coaching experience across multiple conferences. Coach Applin has built a reputation for leadership and player development and recruiting. He is currently an assistant coach at UNC. Let me back up because across the country, they don't know what UNC means. It is the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. He previously held positions at North Carolina Central Women's Basketball, Charleston Southern Women's Basketball, Hampton University, and several powerhouse programs, including Texas, Washington, Wake Forest, and North Carolina. Beloved North Carolina there. His teams have been competing at high levels, earning conference tournament victories, postseason appearances, and beyond the X's and O's, Coach Applin is deeply committed to mentoring student athletes and ensuring they succeed both on and off the court. Coach Applin has had an impressive career in women's basketball. And I'm going to take a moment to go through some of his accomplishments. We'll be here all day if we do them all, but just some I want to point out. He was inducted into the A Step Up Assistant Coaches Hall of Fame in 2025, recognizing his contributions to the sport and his impact on assistant coaching. He has had NCAA tournament success as part of University of North Carolina Greensboro coaching staff. He helped lead the team to its first NCAA tournament appearance since 1998. That's a long drought. Conference champions for 24-25 season. UNC at Greensboro won both the Southern Conference regular season and the tournament title as well, finishing with a record of 25-7 overall and 13-1. Tremendous accomplishment in the conference. Coach Applin has experience in the ACC, Big 12, Pac-12, and Conference USA, working with programs again such as Texas, Washington, Wake Forest, and North Carolina. On top of that, he is once again someone who is rooted and grounded in developing people. His program at East Carolina and Hampton were recognized for their academic achievements. That is still important. The academic achievements boasting the highest team GPA in program history during his tenure there. In the Big South, really quickly, as a head coach of Charleston Southern, he led the team to multiple Big South Conference semifinal appearances and a women's basketball invitational WBI berth, tying the program record for single season wins with 18 in 2017. Coach Applin's career reflects a deep commitment to player development, success, and competitive excellence. So today we have the honor of speaking to Coach Applin. Coach, welcome to Recruiting from the Bleachers.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. If I had that one recruit, first name Jordan, I think we'd have won the conference championship. But that's all right. She got away from me. That's okay. I still respect the family, and it's been an honor to have our relationships all this long. Even I didn't get her, we still maintain our friendship.
Yes. And full disclosure to our audience here, Coach Applin, when he was had the head coaching position at Charleston Southern, did make my daughter, Jordan Strange, an offer, and we were close. We were close to getting that relationship solidified, but it just didn't work out. But that's okay. We all made it through the other side.
We did.
I'm excited, and really excited for the friendship and relationship that we've developed through the years. And I just want to thank you for taking the time. And while I got you real quick, Coach, let me ask you this question. You've got over 30 years of experience in women's basketball and coaching. Tell me, what's been your motivation for coaching? What's been your motivation for sticking with it and being involved with it all these years?
Well, I've been blessed. I played football in college, ran track in college. My brother was a college coach and a high school coach. And I played football, basketball, baseball, and ran track in high school and got recruited. So I had to make a choice which sport I wanted to play, and that was it. But my love was it was basketball and baseball, and I had the opportunity while I was in grad school. Run into Randy Will, who was part of Dean Smith's staff, and he asked me, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm in grad school." And he kind of knew I wanted to coach just because of our friendship, and the opportunity came, and I had that year to work with Coach Smith and Randy Will with the JV program at North Carolina, and that I tell people opportunities don't come too often, and
Right.
that went over to women's basketball, having a relationship with Andrew Calder and Coach Hatchell. The position came open, I think, the next year, and I guess I did a good enough job with the men that I got that job there, and I've loved it. I think it's about relationships because my first recruit still 30, 38, 37 years ago, she still calls me. We still keep in touch, and that's just like every recruit. I've been to weddings, I've been to funerals, and that's why I tell them when I recruit you, I'm gonna recruit you, and I'm gonna. It's more than a coach. I've always treated them just like a daughter, and I tell them that, and I tell the parents because they're away from home, and I'm going to be hard on them. I'm going to love them, and we're going to get through whatever process we need to get through. But it's about the relationship, and God put this plan, and I've just been following it for 38 years.
Really grateful to have you for a few minutes here. I'm gonna start off with a hard question. I know we've got an agenda set up, but I'm gonna start off with a hard question. With the involvement of the transfer portal and the NIL funds that are coming in now, are we witnessing the end of high school recruiting as we know it?
I would say 80% yes, because what you're looking at now, the transfer portal, everybody's transferring, and it's not good for the sport. The mid majors, we've got to wait till the Power Fours, and then the junior college people have got to wait till we get our kids. And it's kind of set, I would say, something more of a mark on women's basketball because what the men are doing, it starts with football and it goes men's basketball. Now it's to women's basketball. It's going to go to tennis. It's going to keep going down. But I think it's hurt women's basketball because the love of the game, you don't see it now. It's how much you're going to offer me. You don't have a true relationship with players. Like I said, I've had kids for 4 years. Or if a kid transferred out, you still kept that relationship. But now I'm hearing kids are getting $65,000, and the number one kid in the country signed. She had some Power Four teams there, and it came out. I guess it was in the newspaper, 1.5 million. I don't know if that's the amount, but um, it's you're chasing dollars instead of chasing what I could do for that program and have a relationship. I was talking with a coach yesterday. You go to three different schools. What homecoming are you going to go to? You don't have a relationship. I can go back to my grad year and go back to homecoming. I know people there. In my undergrad, 4 years, 5 years, you can go back and you're going to know somebody 3 years behind you and somebody above you. And it's just about relationships. The professors,
Relationships.
I think it's more relationships, and this is the way we are right now. But right now, high school kids are going to suffer more than anybody, I think.
Well, Coach, what are the biggest misconceptions parents have about based on your experience?
I think the biggest thing is they think their daughter can play at every level, and that's not true. There are kids that the rankings, and there are some kids that are not ranked that should be ranked. I think you have to be honest with yourself as a parent. You've got to be honest with your daughter, your son, and that sport they're playing. And if they're not out there working, they're not going to get recruited. If they're not out there working, when the coach is gone to get better, somebody's out there working harder. And I see it all the time when we go to tournaments. This kid's ranked number, say, 200 some or 100 some, and here's number 80 is she's doing what she needs to do to hold that status of being number 80 or number 5, top 5 in the country. Those kids, they work. When people think they don't, they come to work. And I think parents need to get those players in the gym more and work on not just basketball, but conditioning. Once we get them in college, it's different. High schools, they do it. But once school is over with, some of these kids never pick up a basketball until AAU rolls around. And yeah, take a break or so, take a week, enjoy yourself, but you've got to do something because You're competing in college against the best of the best.
Good point. Good point. You know, Coach, on my daughter's AAU basketball team, South Carolina Future, every time they lost a game, well, every time they won a game, they won a lot. Run for the Roses, Deep South. We had my daughter's team was really, really good, and they won a lot of games. But our angle with them was always, now you just beat that team, but trust and believe they're going to go to the gym on Monday and work, and they're going to be thinking about you and what they need to do to get better to beat you. So if you don't get in the gym to improve, they're going to come back and defeat you the next time they see you because you're going to be on their mind. So, you know, it's a motivating factor. We use it as motivation to help keep our students, you know, focused on what they needed to do. So when it comes to parents, how can parents best support their child's recruiting journey without interfering with the college coach relationship? Because there has to be a relationship built there. What do parents need to do? Because it's so hard after 18 years to allow your child to, you know, go to a new location and you're trusting people. But what can parents do to help that relationship and that transition a lot smoother?
I think the biggest thing is let your daughter play the sport she loves and trust her. Still be a parent. You have to be a parent no matter what. But let your daughter experience some of the failure and believe that those coaches are there to help them. I think that's the thing. I think the relationship between the head coach and assistant coaches, athletic trainers, your strength conditioning coaches with the student athlete has to be tight. It has to be that you have to trust them and we're going to trust you. And it shouldn't be the parent calling saying, well, my daughter's saying this or my daughter's doing this. Well, I was a head coach. I've got some of those calls. I said, hey, let's do this. Won't you come to practice? Don't tell her you're coming. Surprise her and see is she giving 100%? Because her 100% is not matching my 100%. And she's calling home instead of walking in my office and, Coach, I don't understand this. Oh, Coach, how can I get better? I think the parent should be a parent. No, I totally agree with that. But let that student grow. They're leaving home. They're 18. They're going to make mistakes, but we're there to help her get through those mistakes on and off the court. You can always call home having a bad day, but the parents should never ever call the head coach and say, hey, I want to have a meeting with you. Well, let's have you talk to your daughter. Let me talk to your daughter first or your son, and let's see where the problem or where the disconnect, miscommunication. It could be one word, and that student athlete, that's all she heard. 9.9% of the positive, she heard that 1 point negative, and she's crushed. Let's review it. Let's talk about it. And most of the time, it's over with and they understand.
It's all about growing up. And not only do the parents have to develop communication skills, but that student athlete needs to have those communication skills as well, fine tuned. So when they go out into the world, they need to be able to communicate, not only with coaches, but also in corporate America.
I think the other part of it is a lot of this since COVID, there's a lot of Zoom calls with student athletes and their parents. And I want the parent to be on the Zoom call. You have your questions, but I want to hear from that student athlete. We're not just preparing for basketball. We're preparing for you when you got that speech in front of your professor. There's 300 people in there, 200 people, or you have to go speak in front of the boosters. We're preparing you to talk. So sometimes we go, the parents are talking too much in this. We want to hear what the student athlete is talking. Yeah, have your list, but also make sure your daughter, your son have their lists. Tell me about campus life. Tell me what the dorms. Do I get to live with another athlete or women's basketball? How do you travel? Do you have a schedule for next year? What does that look like? What is what is my scholarship? I know things have changed now. Official visit, like we talked about, what's an official visit compared to just coming an unofficial visit? Do I get tickets to your home game or away game? We can't, there's NCAA rules we got to go around. So I think, those things, can I be on your campus during a dead period or, a shutdown? I think those are some of the things that you have to do as a parent.
Coach, beyond the athletic portion of it, when you're going to recruit a student athlete, beyond the the athletic skill set, what other intangibles are you looking for to bring a person onto your team?
We talked to the coach. The coach is going to pump them up. I've gone into schools. I've talked to the janitor before, and people go, "Why?" I
Wow.
go, "Because you know why? That janitor is in there all the time." And I had one time say, "Hey, tell me about so and so," and he's like, she's hanging around the wrong group. I don't know about her. She talks back to the teachers, and I hear them cussing all the time. So I kind of look at the whole picture. I talk to the principals. I go to assistant principals, teachers. I go to other athletes that play other sports, and I asked them, "Hey, tell me about so and so." And you know what? You hear it from those guys. They're the football players, baseball players, whoever's walking you things, the athlete. Hey, tell me about so and so. Tell me about Jordan. Hey, she's always in the gym. She's very, respectful. I'm gonna use Jordan as an example. Um, she comes to our game. She cheers. You want people like that. So I think that's some of those things. But we're also, when we get to the academics, are they taking the right courses? I think that's so important for the parents. That's one thing which parents would do is stay involved with their academics, because things change, or they're in their academics, or they're talking to the guidance counselor. It's not the guidance counselor that needs to be doing the class. The parents need to be involved too, making sure they're taken to be on the right track to graduate, but also the right track to make sure that they get information sent to the NCAA, or to the schools. All those transcripts, are their transcripts looking, correct? So I think that's some of the things the parents have to.
That wraps up another episode of Recruiting from the Bleachers. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and I appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to join us next week for another insightful conversation. Stay connected with us on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube at Recruiting from the Bleachers. Like, share, and follow to keep up with the latest updates. And don't hesitate to leave your comments and questions. We'd love to hear from you. For a deeper dive into the basketball recruiting process, check out our book, Basketball Recruiting, A Parent's Perspective, available now on Amazon.com. Parents, remember, from the bleachers to the big leagues to the boardroom, let's keep cheering and steering our student athletes towards success. We'll see you next time.